Hi, thanks for joining us for another segment of 5-Minute Tea with a CBE. Today we're going to call into Melissa Murray's classroom. Melissa is a second grade teacher in Marysville, California. She's going to talk to us a little bit about how she integrates technology into her classroom, even though students don't initially have familiarity with how to use it. Let's give her a call. Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Great, thanks. We were wondering if you could spare a couple of minutes today. Is now still a good time?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. So our question for you is, how do you integrate technology in your classroom, even though the students that you work with aren't familiar with the technology in your school?
Yeah, so I teach second grade here at my school, and in kindergarten and first grade, they do use technology. They use iPads, so they're not really familiar with Chromebooks unless they have one at home. So using Chromebooks and just getting familiar with how it looks, how you turn it on, how you handle it is very new to my second graders.
Mm-hmm.
So I use a lot of the beginning of the school year just practicing those skills.
Great. Do you
And
have
one Oh, sorry. And one of those ways is using one of these. It's just something that I created on Google Sheets. I call it my password card. They have their name on the top. This is just a blank one. I have their name printed on the top, and it has all the different subscriptions that we use as a school and then also in a class. And it has their usernames and then their passwords. And then I usually set all their passwords just to one thing, so it's easier for them to remember, and they just have to remember their username. So they use this very often in the school year.
That's awesome. And so once they gain familiarity with signing on and using the tech, how do you then integrate technology into lessons and BrainPOP into the content that they're learning?
Yeah, so after winter break is usually when they're able to just sign on independently, get their password card, get their Chromebook out, and turn on the Chromebook, and get started. And one of the projects that we've wrapped up not too long ago was our President's Day Lapbook. This is a resource that I just got off of Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's just on a manila folder that I folded up. It's called a Lapbook, and inside we did some reading, some writing, and then obviously some art. And so we start off with reading these little booklets. This one says The Life of George Washington, and there's also one about Abraham Lincoln, and we read it and we practice it for fluency. And then we get that same book, and then we use it to write in these little flat books about his life, his presidency, his life in the military, things like that on each side of the lap book. And then there's a writing portion. And how I utilize BrainPOP within this President's Day lap book is that we watch the videos on U.S. symbols, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and we're able to just learn more about the presidents that way. Inside, like I said, is there a writing portion, and writing is really big here at school as well as probably many other schools here. But we use a lot of sentence frames in second grade. And this is one that I just created on Google Docs, and I always include like a Bitmoji, something that I've utilized in my classroom just to make it more fun, and the kids kind of recognize it, so it's nice and fun for them to use. And like I said, I just use sentence frames. We fill this in together. I meet with them as far as like writing conferences, or they do pair share work, things like that. And then when they're ready to write their neat sheet, we just put it in here, and then we staple it in here, and then they get to color their lap book and get to share their work with everybody.
Awesome. What I really like about that is that it's a hybrid between using the BrainPOP movies and then also offline assignments that they're a little bit more familiar with. So you told us a little bit about how they get started, where they're at now. What do you foresee once there is much more familiarity? How are you then going to integrate tech and BrainPOP into your lessons and content?
Yeah, so since after winter break, it's already the end of March. Where has the time gone? But we're getting started to just do our weather unit. We've been getting some crazy weather lately here in the spring, and we're actually expecting like a thunderstorm to come like in the next 30-45 minutes. So it's a really great topic to learn about. So we're going to be definitely diving in to like the weather videos and being able to assign them different projects. And then now, since they're able to log on independently and know how to go in there themselves, they're able to just write up what they've learned and send that right back to me, and then we could conference other and just talk about what they've been learning and what they would like to learn more and just take control of their learning. And I think BrainPOP does a really great job of helping me guide that with my students.
That's awesome. Are your students outside at recess right now?
Yeah, they just, it is lunchtime, so I could hear them outside yelling and things like that. But yeah, lunch is going to be almost over pretty soon. So I'm glad that I had this time to just check in with you guys and share all the great stuff that we're doing.
I'm so glad that you had this time too. Well, we're going to let you get back to your classroom. I'm sure there's lots to do. Thanks once again. And for anyone else who's watching, you can comment below if you have any questions for Melissa, and she will get back to you. Awesome. All right. Well, have a great rest of the day.
You too. Bye, you guys.
Bye.